Hello, thanks for staying with us on Channels Television. Welcome to the news at 5. I'm Ayotunde Balogun. We start off in Plateau State, where the police have arrested a key suspect linked to Tuesday's deadly attack on Bimpa village in Mangu local government area. 25 people were killed, while 4 others were injured in that early morning attack on Kumbun district. A police public relations officer, Alfred Alabo, confirmed the arrest to Channels Television, saying the suspect in custody is believed to be the mastermind of the attack. He adds that investigations are already progressing and the manhunt is still on for other fleeing attackers. Staying with the Mangu killing, the General Officer commanding 3 Division Nigerian Army Major General Maxwell Dangana has moved his tactical office to Mangu local government area of Plateau State for 2 weeks as the military launches Operation Hard Nut to flush out terrorists and restore normalcy following Tuesday's attack on Bimpa community. Major General Dangana gave the directive while addressing troops at the Mangu Local Government Council headquarters during a show of force shortly after the attack, which claimed the lives of 25 people. The GOC charged the troops to remain professional and neutral in the discharge of their duties, assuring residents that the military will intensify efforts to secure communities across Mangu and other parts of the state. He said the operation would focus on clearing all terrorists and other criminal elements operating around Mangu while restoring the confidence of residents who have been affected by repeated attacks. General Dangana disclosed that the Chief of Army Staff had approved the deployment of additional troops and equipment to support the operation, stressing that the reinforcement will strengthen the military's capacity to confront the attackers. He assured the people of Mangu that the army would work relentlessly to make the local government safe, adding that his decision to relocate his tactical office to Mangu for 2 weeks was aimed at providing direct supervision of the operation. Major General Dangana also urged residents to support the security agencies with credible information that could assist troops in identifying and neutralizing terrorists and other criminal elements operating in that area.
You cannot. We are not blocking road. We are doing the
Security personnel drawn from the Nigerian Armed Forces, the Nigeria Police, the Nigeria Immigration Service and Vehicle Inspection Officers VIO, among others, have taken to the headquarters of the Ministry of Defense in Abuja in order to prevent a breakdown of law and order due to a protest by retired military personnel under the umbrella of the Military Veterans Association of Nigeria. Led by retired Colonel Azubike Nas, the retired military officers are protesting the non-implementation of consequential adjustments to their pensions following the recent increase of salaries of military personnel by President Bola Tinubu. President Tinubu had recently approved the new salary scale for serving military officers with a view to bolstering their performance across all theaters of operations in the country. The retired military officers are, however, claiming that the recent increment shouldn't have left them out, having served the country diligently for 35 years or more. Armed soldiers are also guarding the defense headquarters and all roads leading to the area. The deployment in both areas has already caused traffic gridlock around the city center. In Kaduna, the State Police Command has ordered a full-scale investigation into a viral social media video allegedly showing officers of the command extorting money from motorists and cyclists during a stop-and-search operation. In a statement issued by the command's police public relations officer, Mansur Hassan, the Kaduna State Commissioner of Police, Rabi Mohammed, had directed that the officers captured in the video be identified and invited for questioning. According to the statement, officers found culpable after the investigation will face appropriate disciplinary and legal action. The command also clarified that routine roadblocks and stop-and-search operations had been curtailed, except in situations where there is credible intelligence indicating the movement of criminals, arms or other prohibited items. The police said the location featured in the video is a suburb of Millennium City that has previously been associated with criminal activity adding that its operatives had earlier recovered 20 AK-47 rifles along the same route. However, the commissioner stressed that legitimate security operations must not be used as a means of extortion, harassment, or other forms of misconduct. The police commended members of the public for drawing attention to alleged misconduct and encouraged residents to continue reporting unprofessional behavior by officers. In Katsina State, at least 24 bandits have been killed after security forces foiled a planned mass kidnapping in Adamawa community in Bakori local government area of the state. The Nigerian Army, the DSS, the Katsina Community Watch Corps, and local vigilantes reportedly ambushed about 40 gunmen linked to the notorious bandit kingpin Isia Kwashin Garwa. Now, the operation led to the rescue of abducted villagers and the recovery of 19 stolen cattle. Security forces are now tracking the fleeing bandits. In Adamawa, the police have confirmed the killing of a police officer and 4 persons during an attack on Gaya Ndlang community in Kuvagaya district of Hong local government area of the state. The police public relations officer for the state command, Mr. Suleiman Yahaya Nguroje, told Channels Television, or confirmed this to Channels Television, at the command headquarters in Yola, the state capital. According to the police, several homes were set ablaze while food items were looted by the attackers. However, the police assured residents that following the deployment of additional security operatives, normalcy has returned to the area while the investigation is ongoing.
The command received a report from its divisional police officer that is covering Kuvagaya in Hong local government about the incidents. Immediately, the commissioner of police has reinforced him by deploying some personnel to augment his strength. So thereafter, a report came up that an inspector of police that is serving in Kuvagaya divisions and 4 others lost their life. And another team were equally raised from the highest investigative body of the command, that is CID, to augment the strength to conduct on-the-spot assessment. As it is, the men are already going around with sister security agencies to come up with the facts which we are going to make it known to the public.
Okay, do you, apart from the killing of the people you mentioned, do you have any information based on the level of destruction of the community?
Yeah, that is what the officers are now doing. They are conducting investigations about it to ascertain the level of destructions, then to get the number of casualties, including those that must have lost their lives. But as it is, normalcy has restored. The community members have returned, and some of them are aiding investigations because they are moving around with the officers deployed to make further inquiries, and as soon as that is done, definitely we are going to make it known.
To Osun State now, where Governor Adamawa has received his certificate of return at the INEC office as the re-elected governor of the state, amid cheers, jubilation, and a mammoth crowd celebrating the renewed mandate. Shortly after receiving his certificate of return from INEC, Governor Adamawa arrived at the Attorney's Palace in Oshogbo, welcomed by an atmosphere of excitement, jubilation, and of course the people celebrating his victory at the Osun governorship poll.
Osun State had overcome. I brought the light to Osun State. And I drove darkness out of Osun State. Osun State will never see darkness again. We will keep moving forward. Nobody will turn us around again. I'm seeing the opportunity that all my other contestants, they should please come over. Let's join hands together and let's move Osun State forward. Why I'm saying that Osun State is bigger than anybody. And I'd like to seize this opportunity for those who lost their life during the election, may their soul rest in peace. And I'm telling, and of course, I'm telling you that all of you that lost their life, I'm promising, the Adeleke family is promising to take their, not government money now. God has blessed us. I'm going to bless all of you that lost their life, their children. We be giving scholarship to Adeleke High School and Adeleke University. Just to compensate them. And finally, Mr. President, Jagaban. I really appreciate you, Mr. President, for making democracy to stay in Nigeria. That's all what we want. And I wish you all the best in that 2027 election.
To the courts now, where a magistrate court sitting in Ekiti has remanded disqualified All Progressives Congress governorship aspirant in Ekiti State, Abimbola Olajumoke, in prison custody for 1 month over allegations of defamation, cyberbullying and kidnapping. The case was instituted by the Chief Executive Officer of YSJ Agro-Allied Limited, Mrs. Yemisi Jolue. Chief Magistrate Abayin Adeosun, who adjourned the case till September the 15th, had earlier granted Olajumoke bail, but revoked it after she failed to appear in court at the next adjourned sitting. She was subsequently arrested and detained. While speaking on the case, Jolue said she approached the court to seek justice over what she described as false statements that damaged her reputation and affected her employees. On allegations of kidnapping and the murder of a staff member at the farm, Jolue explained that security agencies were investigating the matter. She adds that the safety of workers and participants remained the company's top priority, noting that YSJ Farms works with security agencies and the Ekiti state government to maintain security across its farm clusters. And Nigeria's maritime sector is stepping up efforts to tackle pollution and improve environmental cleanliness across the country's inland waterways, with a new initiative focused on sustainable waste management and safer waterways. The National Inland Waterways Authority, in partnership with Part Central Limited, is deploying technology to map and monitor the waterways while engaging host communities, boat operators, fishermen, security agencies and other stakeholders in a collaborative cleanup program.
Clean waterways are vital to Nigeria's blue economy. That's why government officials, private sector partners, and maritime stakeholders gather to unveil a new initiative to clean up the nation's inland waterways. Led by the National Inland Waterways Authority, NIWA, and Part Central Limited, this project aims to succeed where others failed. It brings grassroots communities, local leaders, and security agencies directly into the fold to ensure long-term sustainability.
It is so important that the waterfront owners, that is why we specifically invite waterfront owners. We invited dredging and boat operators because most of these wastes are generated by these people.
What comes first is the life of Nigerians. And how do we do this? Where do we start from? By first of all making sure that we clean up our waterways. This isn't a natural act. It is something that we do as human beings.
When you talk of the maritime, we are talking of all the water corridors, both international and local waterways. And the country cannot survive without the maritime because majority of the country's economy derives its drive from the maritime.
After months of identifying pollution sources, the initiative will deploy mapping technology to monitor the water and provide approved waste bins on boats and at jetties.
We spent more than 7 months trying to observe the problems, what are the sources of waste, what are the major causes, who are the people that are actually contributing immensely into water pollution. Every waterfront area, every riverine community will feel the impact because the enforcement will be different.
The cleanup relies heavily on collaboration. Fishermen, boat operators, dredgers and local government will all play active roles in sustaining the project.
For us as a body, we will always try as much as possible to play a positive role when it comes to the maintenance of the waterways.
Aligned with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's renewed hope agenda, the ultimate goal is to tackle pollution, improve water safety, and create recycling jobs across Nigeria's waterways.
When we come back after the break on News at 5, Minister of Finance presents a scorecard on federal government's reforms at its media conference. Join us again on Business News. Welcome back. As part of efforts to provide a platform for strategic reflection, peer learning and professional engagement among senior police officers, the Nigeria Police has announced plans to hold a national conference for senior police officers in order to strengthen the capacity of the force to effectively respond to emerging internal security challenges. Addressing a news briefing in Abuja, the Force Public Relations Officer, Aniete Iniedu, says the conference is aimed at providing an opportunity for the police to examine contemporary security challenges and develop strategies for improving policing and internal security management. He adds that the Nigeria Police remains committed to working within its statutory mandate and in partnership with relevant stakeholders to ensure that next year's elections are conducted in a peaceful, safe and secure environment.
Since its inception in 2019, the Conference for and Retreat for Senior Police Officers has continued to provide a platform for strategic reflection, peer learning, and professional engagement among senior police officers, with a focus on strengthening the capacity of the Nigerian police force to effectively respond to emerging internal security challenges. The conference has over the years attracted senior government officials, security and law enforcement leaders, policing experts, and other stakeholders from within and outside Nigeria. It has also provided an opportunity for the force to examine contemporary security challenges and developmental strategies and develop strategies for providing policing and internal security management. In continuation of this initiative, the Inspector General of Police, IGP Olatunji Rilwan Disu, PSC Daga, NPM, has approved the 6th edition of the CASPO, scheduled to hold from the 21st to the 23rd of September 2026 in Owerri, Imo State.
Governor Abdullahi Sule of Nasarawa State has inaugurated the State Security Advisory Committee, charging its members to tackle the root causes of insecurity through a coordinated, intelligence-driven and community-based approach. Speaking at the inauguration ceremony at Government House, Lafia, Governor Sule explained sustainable security requires more than the deployment of personnel and equipment, stressing the need to address poverty, unemployment, social dislocation, and other economic and social drivers of crime. The governor said the council will work with security agencies, traditional and religious leaders, youth organizations, and women groups to strengthen intelligence gathering, early warning systems, community policing, and dialogue, particularly in addressing security challenges across communities and state borders. Welcome to Business News. The Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Taiwo Oyedele, has been defending the economic reforms of President Bola Tinubu, saying that apart from the gains to the average Nigerian, it has also saved the country some economic losses, such as empowering state governors to pay salaries. The minister, who was sharing this at the reforms scorecard, A special event organized by the Ministry of Finance in Abuja says that the government accepts the reality that more work still needs to be done to balance macroeconomic gains, to also balance it with microeconomic gains as well.
In May 2023, 27 states could not reliably pay salaries. Today, that number is 0. Ways and means stock, which stood at 30 trillion as at that time, had been curtailed rather than left to double. But we're being honest about the cost. We're not saying all of it is rosy. A scorecard that only lists wins is not a scorecard. It's a campaign leaflet. And we did not come here to give you one. The monetary policy rate has risen from 18.5% to 26.5%. We record that plainly as a cause of stabilization. That's how we recorded it, not a hidden win. Petrol at the pump has risen from roughly 185 naira a litre to between 1,100 and 1,400. That is a major felt cost. And I will not stand here and tell you otherwise. What I will say is what the counterfactual shows. On the pre-reform parts, petrol will likely be simultaneously unavailable. It will still be 185 naira per litre. It will not be available at the official price. And it's likely to be trading in the black market for at least 3,000 naira per litre. That would be extra cost paid in scarcity as well as money, without nothing gained in return. And on food and household welfare, our assessment is candid. This remains work in progress.
The Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, FCCPC, has launched a fresh investigation into Nigeria's cement market following preliminary findings suggesting possible price manipulation. The investigation follows a 3-month cross-border study by the Commission's Anti-Competitive Practices Department, prompted by complaints over rising cement prices. The study compares Nigeria's market with those of Kenya, Tanzania, South Africa, Egypt, Morocco, Algeria, and Togo. The FCCPC says a 50-kilogram bag of cement, which sold for between 9,300 and 9,700 naira in January, rises to between 10,500 and 13,000 naira by mid-year, with prices reaching as high as 15,000 naira in some areas by July. The Commission notes that Nigeria has installed cement production capacity of about 60 to 65 million metric tons annually, compared with domestic consumption of roughly 25 to 30 million tons. And that's it on the news at 5. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Ayotunde Balogun. The World Today is up next.